Hey Arthur, um, thanks for your question. The short answer is you can use this as an alternative to port forwarding. So, yes, you still need to physically host your Minecraft server though. Uh, so if you have like a PC that you're not using, you can host your server on that, or you can just open like on your local machine, you can set up Cloudflared and use that instead, because you can use that to tunnel into like the PC that it's installed on. So as an example, I use Pterodactyl, which has two halves to it, PT Wings and PT Panel, and I host a Minecraft server for me. This is the local network IP address that it's hosted on, so it's no use to the outside world. And this is like a Minecraft server that I used to play on. I just spent a couple of hours fixing this because there were a bunch of different issues with it and needed updating and stuff, but here we are. So here's Minecraft Java, hit play. Make this reasonable size for demoing stuff. So currently I can add using the IP address here. So I can just copy this. You click on it and it'll copy it. If I chuck this in here, probably keep it down here so you can see the logs. Hit join. Bam, connected. Oh, Jesus, and into it. So anyway, uh, it connects is what I'm trying to show. So here we are connected to my game world locally directly. You can see I've logged in and probably doxed myself with my unique player ID. I don't know how discernible that is. But as you can see, I'm connected and it works. So, well, why am I losing hunger so fast? So if I disconnect now, cool, I'm gone. Now left the game. And so this information up here is what we'd be interested in. It would change depending on your use case exactly, but that's essentially what you need to know. If we copy this and if we go to our Cloudflare stuff, so this assumes that you've got Cloudflare running as a service on your network and you've got this successfully set up as a tunnel. So when you go in here, you know, it shows all good and healthy and all that jazz. So like over here, we've got healthy. This is operational and working. So you can just click in on the far right, on the three dots, configure. Public host names at the top. It'll give you a list of all the different bits and bobs you've already set up on which domains for this connector. We can just add a new one. Say we want to just use this for Minecraft. We'll just have it as Minecraft as the domain. I'll just pick one of my domains that I'm using here. I'll use this one. So I'm going to use xencrypt.net, which is a domain that I have. That's probably the only issue that you might run into with this, is that you do need a domain name set up on Cloudflare to use this. However, domain names are fairly cheap and I would recommend them anyway for a multitude of reasons. Just having at least one registered that you use and you can set that up to work with like your home network and stuff for a bunch of services. Helps with SSL, anything home related. So if you're hosting stuff, it's well worth looking into, and you can get it for like, I don't know, $13 a year or something, depending on the domain name you get. It's not much at all. So yeah, we don't want anything over here with the path. So we just want straight minecraft.xencrypt.net. And we'll do service here as, we can try TCP. And the URL, which is what we got to before. Because it's TCP and not HTTPS, we don't have to specify certificate stuff. Cool, so that's created. We've got this one down here now, minecraft.net. We can even check on it with, we can use dig. So dig is, it's like a tool, just checks domains and stuff. So if you go dig google.com, it will look up, like do a DNS search of what google.com is. You can set it to point to different domain servers and stuff like that. So if we grab this here now, drag it in here, take off the extra bits, and now we can see that it's been directed somewhere. By default, I think these are cached and proxied, so this shouldn't be like doxing myself. I hope not anyway. So, turns out there is a mod which essentially forces Minecraft to connect over TCP. So, install Prism, ideally from the GitHub, but you can go to their site instead. Once you fire up Prism, add instance, we just want to set it as vanilla for now. We're going to go OK, it will show up, go edit, version, down here, install loader, and then we want fabric. Now, if you use a different mod loader or have mods or whatever already installed, you probably need to figure this bit out on your own, because all I can help with is getting Cloudflared to work with it. And then at this point, it also said to do the download all. So now it's going to download all the stuff it needs. And it also said to make sure that the Fabric mod loader, the API was installed. Edit mods, download mods, like any other mod. Okay, Fabric API. Prism has finished doing the needful. And now, can we just... okay, so now we want the Fabric API. And then mod flared. We'll grab that as well. We don't need to change any versions or anything because we're dealing with the latest. Cool. That was very fast. They're both enabled. Now we go launch. Alright, so now, yeah, sure. Allow. So we'll do the direct connect to start with. Actually, I'll just add both the servers. This will be local. And this will be our copied IP address. Cool, detected. This should just work. Cool. There's our lovely server. Still hungry. I'll probably actually switch to another proper client. Anyway, yeah, so it works. Disconnect. Add server. What did I call it? Cloudflare URL. Cloudflare URL. And then this will be, go in here, it'll be minecraft.xencrypt.net. .xencrypt.net. And now there's one more thing that we need to do, because this won't technically work just yet. And that is, we need to add a record in the records for this domain, a text record. So we go to the DNS side, add a record, text, equals Minecraft dot, I mean, it'll be on the same I suppose. Yeah, so there, save. Cool. Oh. Look at that. Okay, so it just takes a while for the Cloudflare changes to go through. So let's just review. So you have your tunnel. Public host names. You probably won't have one by default. So add Minecraft. Yeah, pick your domain. TCP. Server address. You get your server address from including. Cool, and then save in the bottom right. Save your button. When you do that, you get a record down here. Edit this. None of the rest of these options need to change. All these are just set to the defaults. They're just all the default stuff, so you don't need to worry about changing anything. This is just Minecraft domain server IP address TCP. So once you've done that, you download your mod launcher client of choice, and you want this mod flared. And mod flared will use a Cloudflare tunnel if it's available. And the other thing that you need to do is create a text domain. If this is your record, minecraft.xnencrypt.net, you will need to go to the normal Cloudflare platform, dash.cloudflare, not one.dash.cloudflare. You want dash.cloudflare. And then in here, under the domain for the zone that you're working on, so if your domain is xencrypt.net, you go under the domain zone for that. And you need to go add record here. Make sure this is set to text. And the domain needs to match what you made. So like in our example, where we are working with minecraft.xencrypt, you just put Minecraft in here because it's in the zone for this domain, so we'll add that on afterwards. Now for the content, you need this. Cloudflared-route equals, and then the domain that you want to use for the Cloudflared tunnel. So in this instance, it's using this domain, but you would change this if you were pointing to a different domain. So as an example, if you migrated, like you weren't using Cloudflare before and you are now, because of the slight change, the client now needs to use Cloudflare to connect. So you can set this up so that the old domain gets pointed to here, and then you have a new domain that your game server actually sits on and your tunnel actually sits on. So if you currently are not using Cloudflare at all, and you want to start using it on an existing server that people are connecting to, pick a different tunnel name and then set this up on the existing domain. So if people are connecting to you currently on minecraft.potato.com, set up a new tunnel. So when we go in here and set up the tunnel, make this something else. So like game potato or potato game or something. And then in the DNS, this would be what you want it, what it actually is, and then the route here will be your new one. So like potato game dot, well, Minecraft dot potato, or Minecraft game dot potato, or whatever. I don't think I've explained it very clearly, but essentially, if you've never used it before and you're starting a new server, you can just set it up as the same domain. If you have an existing server and people are already connecting to it, not using Cloudflare, you can set this up so that it will give them a message instead, or it will fail to connect unless they're using Cloudflare, and then it will automatically connect to the new one. So you can use it as a way to tell them, hey, you need to download this mod. So once you've done that, you'll have this text record here, and this will say whatever subdomain you're using. Once you've got this, it does appear to take a few minutes. Okay, so I went away for like maybe 15 minutes. I came back and Minecraft was now working. So then you want to use your mod launcher. In our case, we have Prism. So the Prism launcher has a GitHub page. Ideally, you should download from the GitHub releases, if possible. But basically anything, because that's like the safest way to access open source binaries, essentially. Or you can get it through the website here, and then it will just direct you to. Cool. So you'll download the Prism launcher or use whatever you already have. You will not have. You won't see anything here when you first boot up. You go add instance. Start it with vanilla. Doesn't matter what name you use. New, edit, version, install loader. And now, because we need this mod flared mod to work, which has, you can either have the fabric or whatever the other one was, but for this one it supports fabric, so we'll just choose fabric and it defaults to the most recent. Go OK. Now we've got the fabric loader in here, so we can go download all. Cool. And now it takes some time to download, and now we can go mods. And in mods, go download mods here. Brings up this. We need Fabric API, and then it will default to the latest. Select mod to download. And then we also need our mod flared. And again, it defaults. So select mod for download. And then review and confirm. It'll tick both those two. Okay. It'll take some time to download. We'll install them. Then you can just go launch here. When you hit launch here, it will initialize those mods. The first time you do this, it will take a wee bit of time.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
Cool. Now, continue. Going to turn off the music. Multiplayer. There will be none out here off the bat. And then we want to chuck in the same URL we have for our tunnel here. So minecraft.xencrypt.net, and you don't need to put in a port. Minecraft.xencrypt.net. Cool, done. And now it will show up as a normal server, and it will have an icon here for the mod flared in use. So now you can just join this as a server. And now you're in. So now I am connected to my server through Cloudflare. So it is not using, it doesn't show my IP address to people who are connecting. You don't need to share that. You just share the domain. So this, in this case, it's that minecraft.xencrypt.net. That's all they need. and they can't see my IP address at all. They can only see the Cloudflare server, and then it gets tunneled through that. So no more port forwarding in your router, no more worrying about IP addressing and stuff like that. All you need is a Cloudflare account with a domain, with your domain, and the Cloudflared service running on your network somewhere. The Cloudflared server can even run on your Minecraft server if you really need it to. So yeah, that is a summary of pretty much the key steps you need to set this up, get it all running. You may be able to install it through a different mod loader. It just happens that this one is supported by Fabric and what was the other one? NeoForge. So yeah, everyone who connects to your server would need to use this if you set it up for Cloudflared, and not for like you could probably have it set up for both, but there's no real reason why you would. You just set it up for one or the other, really. Cool. Yeah, let me know if it works for you or if you run into problems, but it's fairly straightforward. The only issue is once you do apply those Cloudflare changes, you do need to wait for a few minutes. I would suggest up to half an hour, maybe an hour, just because of the way DNS works. Changes take some time to go through. So cool. Enjoy your nice new secure Minecraft server that you don't need to give people's you don't need to give people your IP address for. Have a good one. Bye.